Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Indexer Office Hours. Today is the 10th of October, and this is Indexer Office Hours 128. For those of you who are new to Indexer Office Hours, this is the town square where ecosystem participants come together and discuss the most important and relevant topics. This is a conversation. We love participation, so if you'd like to get involved, please do by unmuting your mic, or if you're having any issues with that, let me know. You can also post in the chat box in the corner there. This is something that's going to get posted onto public channels like YouTube, so if you're concerned about privacy, please bear that in mind. And with that, let's get into today's agenda. So for opening remarks, we give a shout out to 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗧, and today is no different. Although I will give the same shout out that I did last week, because there hasn't been a new podcast episode since last week. So if you haven't already, check out podcast episode 136, and that is with 𝗨𝗂𝗧𝗧𝗧, who is the co-founder and COO of Playgrounds. So many of you know we did an episode of Playgrounds, and they're a cool bunch working on some cool stuff. I'll post the link there. I won't give out too much of a shout out because I did that last week. All right, that's opening remarks, and now I will hand over to Anna, who's going to take us into our regularly scheduled Repo Watch.
Hello, and hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, there's a little bit of an echo and a little bit of background noise, but it's fine.
Okay, I'm not sure where I can go at this moment. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right. Today on the watch, we have had quite a few new releases from 𝗨𝗀𝗂𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧, as Matt pointed out. Okay. So on execution layer clients, we have had, in addition to all of the other releases we had last week that we talked about, we had a new release 251.0. This release fixes internal CL flag for Gnosis, and has many fixes for Polygon, and it also moves snapshots DB to snapshots downloader. Then we have a new get release. This is 1.13.2, which is a bug fix release. We have a new Firehose Ethereum release, 1.4.17. This release adds the ability for the common auth plugin to use a secret, in which case requests are authenticated based on the authorization header. And then we also have a new release for Heimdall. This is version 1.0.2. This is a patch release which addresses minor fixes encountered in the previous version. Then that's all we have this week. Can you still hear me? I can see some people hearing.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Okay, well, that's all I had this week. Please do let us know if you've tried any of the new releases, specifically from Aragon or the Firehose Ethereum. Handing over to Juan.
You're muted, by the way, Juan, if you're trying to talk. Hopefully it works.
I think he's trying to find a better internet space based on the previous message.
Well, he says joining from his phone. Oh, can't unmute. Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah, that's strange. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah, we can
I think
hear
I'm
you.
back. Okay, perfect.
You
Good to push
can
the talk.
disable push to talk, or you have a button to press to talk on mobile. But you have to open the like to be open on your like screen, like I don't know how to call it. Like there's a kind of like a call screen on the screen. I can hit the button and speak, or you can disable it in settings on mobile. Like that works.
Yeah, I've also given you the presenter role, so you should be able to speak without push to talk one.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Awesome. LFG.
I just hope the internet is decent at least.
Fingers crossed.
Cool. So hopefully I don't break up too much because I'm kind of like losing you guys a little bit. But I'm gonna try to do my best. Getting into Protocol Watch, we have forum governance first. We have two support for the new change, so the chain support thingies. So one is the from Ether network, which we already covered. So they said that they already have a call with Kyle. So yeah, there's some progress going on there. Then we also have support for OP mainnet. Given that Optimism was already kind of like sort of supported during MIPS, but dropped support due to the Bedrock upgrade. Um, it's kind of like in the late stages of adding support, so to speak, but it's still missing a few things. So yeah, we're gonna have Optimism mainnet relatively soon, hopefully. And that's all for forum governance. Getting into forum research, we have the core dev updates for October, September, October. So this includes the Guild, GraphOps, Pinax, Edge and Node, Semiotic Labs, Mesari, Streamingfast, and Geo. If you're interested in any of those, you can, of course, go to the agenda. There are links for all of the threads. And next up, we have two different threads for forum research. One of those is Graph Explorer filters subgraphs by index, but uncured subgraphs. This is kind of like a request so that in the UI we have kind of like a way to filter subgraphs that have been synced but not signaled. I'm not entirely sure what would be the usage of that, but it was requested, so that's the thread. And then we have an update to the integrity of data may be open to question, which was an update from one of the questions I think that was made by Alex regarding which subgraph was the one that had the issues. And I think the original poster added some information for those. For the contracts repository, we don't have any new updates since last IOH, as well as for the network subgraphs, there are no new releases. Network subgraphs do have a few things in the backlog, mainly the tests for the subgraph, for the core network subgraph have been added, but it's not yet released. I mean, it's on master branch, but it's not released formally because we're waiting on the file data sources refactor to go through so that we can release all of them in a bundle. That's all for Protocol Watch, so I'm going to hand it over to Ed now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anna and Juan, for your sections there. So we have a few topics that we're going to cover today. We have Paco, who's going to talk to us a bit about the upgrade indexer, as well as all of the things that are going on in the core dev ecosystem. We're going to go through some project boards and see some specific updates. But before then, we have Kevin, who's going to talk to us a bit about the developer survey that he's conducting at the moment, and potentially go through some of the responses he's already had. So, Kevin, if you're ready, feel free to fire away.
Yeah, thanks. And mic check, you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, yeah, hi everyone, and thanks for giving me a spot here again today. Took up a lot of time last week. This will be really quick. I just want to reiterate to folks who maybe missed the call or forgot. I just put a link in the chat there to the blog post where you can dig up information. You can go to the survey we're trying to conduct right now. So far, we've got 7 really good responses. I'm hoping to get a few more from the community about the graph indexer docs. If you have thoughts, if you've read them, if you've tried to read them, you like them, you don't like them, we'd really like to get your feedback on it. Because part of what the doc squad is doing, and certainly not just me, there's a bunch of us on this. I just joined the doc squad about a month ago. What we're trying to do is really get a better understanding of what people need out of the documentation. Part of Pinax, I'm with Pinax. A part of our contract with the graph is to provide this kind of documentation, knowledge, information. But we want to know exactly what folks need first. I think that's the best place to start. So consider this kind of a high level, primordial user needs analysis. We're trying to figure out what folks want, and then we can start planning for it. We've already got some ideas. I know 𝗨𝗀𝗳𝗂𝗧𝗧, who's often, I think, on these calls, had come up with a new documentation structure, but we wanted to get some feedback even before we published that, so we get a good idea of what people might want. Real quick, I'm going to just share a bit of the feedback we have received. I've got my slides, so I'll share those. I know you guys love slides, so here we go. So you should be able to see that. So let's go through there. So no real agenda. I've already reminded you of the survey, and I'm going to show you some of the examples. There is the link directly to the Google form. We're going to have it open till Friday the 13th. That's a good luck day, and hopefully you can take it some time. It's only about 5-10 minutes it would take to fill it in. If you have other comments, suggestions, you can just send it to me directly too if you want on Discord or Slack or even email. It's fine with me too. I'm not going to go through the whole survey. There's about 10 questions, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there, but I thought this was interesting. This is all the feedback actually we've had so far when I asked, hey, what do you think is the best part of the indexer documentation? And you can read through that yourself, but I thought it was funny someone just had the dark theme. I know everyone likes the dark themes on stuff, so that's good. But the people who answered this question thought what they use basically is accurate. They understand it's hard to keep up to date, but generally what is there they find to be correct. It's really good. And the documentation is usually well documented and complete, which is nice. The opposite side of that, one of the questions on the survey is about what could be improved in the documentation. So this is about a sixth, or maybe a seventh of the feedback that I received there so far. Again, I'm not going to read all this to you. I can even distribute the slides later if you'd like. I can post a link for that. I'll maybe put that up in Slack. But generally, the theme is that sometimes it's difficult to find things. It's difficult to keep that things aren't necessarily updated or complete. I think the fourth bullet there is talking about unified location. They would like docs that start at the beginning, not necessarily somewhere in the middle. So that's been and even there was a couple comments about that last week, I believe, here in this conversation at IOH last week. The comment at the end is one of the last ones, one I really liked. Please keep in mind, I joined at the beginning of the MIPS program, so he had no knowledge, he or she had no knowledge about the graph stack really before then, but might not visit the docs anymore because found it to be quite a struggle. This person had to work 24/7 through all the MIPS program. Thought it was a great learning process, but not really necessarily handleable. So I think one of the themes that I'm picking up is something that's come up in a number of conversations, this end-to-end concept of we'd really like to see, if not even tutorials, but that kind of level of information, like a really A to Z, A to Z, depending on if you're in Canada or not, perspective on how to build a substream, how to do these things. So that seems to be something people are asking for. If it's not, they're not seeing that it's, if they're not feeling that the docs are complete. So anyway, I would really like to get more feedback on this. So Abel, I'll leave it there for now. I will distribute this. I'll put a link in the chat here in a couple seconds so people can have a look at this. But really just want to promote again that we are doing this. We really want to make sure the docs are complete and work the way you want them to work. For people who are already in the business of indexing, but also people who will be coming and joining the graph ecosystem. We want to make sure that they are going to be well supported as well. So that's all I really have to say there, Abel. I'll put the link in the chat in a second.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It's always good to get an update there. And as Kevin has asked, please do fill that out before the 13th, because we're doing this for you guys to make sure the documentation is the best it can possibly be. Thank you. So we have 𝗨𝗂𝗳𝗂𝗧𝗧 and 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗧 who are going to talk about the Index Experience Project Board. But before that, I'm going to hand it over to 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗧, who's going to speak to us about the Upgrade Indexer, which was a conversation in last week's IOH. A few people were asking questions, just curious about this initiative, and 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗧 has the lowdown there. So 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗧, if you're ready, fire away.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Sharing a link to the post that I think was kind of the topic of the conversation, but and when I say we, I mean EdgeNode, we hear your concerns. We were talking about the importance of open sourcing this information to the indexing community today during a meeting, and so we're working on getting this info out to you. I have a ton to share today in terms of specifics, but I just know that we are listening, and kind of specifically Marc-André's comment about just making sure that independent indexers can participate if they want to. We heard that loud and clear and are working on that a reality. So stay posted. Sorry, I don't have a ton of details besides that, but just wanted to assure you that we're listening and are working on getting that out there for you. And I'm happy to field any more questions via direct line to EdgeNode regarding this stuff. If you have any feedback or comments, just DM me or whatever. Happy to chat. And thanks. But yeah, that's all I have really about Upgrade Indexer. We can probably pivot to the project board now. Is there specific questions?
Yeah, if anyone has any specific questions, fire away or direct them to Packer in his messages. Otherwise, yeah, we can start with the project board. Although Payne has stepped away from his laptop or his computer, so I'm not sure if he's going to capture this screen share. So maybe do you want to say a few words about the index experience? I know 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂 here as well, so 𝗨𝗂𝗂, feel free to chime in as well. And then
I guess
when he's
before
back,
we pivot, are there any things besides what kind of Marc-André brought up last week that would be helpful for you all? Mentioned things like list of networks, subgraphs, and query projections. There are other things that would really empower you all to contribute as this kind of upgrade indexer role, or is that a pretty good list to get started?
Seems like Vincent from Data Nexus has a question, so feel free to address that.
I'll read that out. I have a question. Are testnets going to be supported Upgrade Indexer and by extension the rest of the decentralized network? Indexing rewards, of course. That's a great question. Not want to inclusively speak to that. I see Ford is typing, so he might have something guard. And if not, I will definitely get back to you and also to the IOH community with the concrete answer to that. I just don't have that.
Yeah. Like he said, I think we'll follow up with details, but I think the plan is to support anything that's supported on the hosted service, of course, without indexing rewards at first, and then work with the community to help with the chain integration process to get indexing rewards enabled. I think the testnets are interesting. There's a lot of open questions around willingness to pay and what that market's going to look like, but I do think we'll try to support that without indexing rewards.
There you go.
Great point, and I'll take note of that. Yeah, we'll follow up. That's it, for sure.
Sorry, a bit of a delay on my side, so I think I dropped the Packer. Apologies. Alrighty. Any more questions? I see Vincent typing. Maybe he's got a follow-up question, or maybe confirming that that was a useful update. Just want to field any more questions before Payne rejoins, and then we can get to the screen share and the project board. Oh, you're back. Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Because we're going to start a screen share from either Paco or 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂 with the projects board. So just wanted to make sure you're here while we do that. But yeah, any more questions? I see Vincent still typing, so maybe you'll give him a second. And then maybe I'll move on to the next topic. All right, awesome. Thanks so much, Vincent. Appreciate that. Alrighty. If anyone has any other questions, just type in the chat or feel free to direct to Packer. And with that, we can get on to the next section. So either 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂 or Packer, feel free to share the project board and we can go through it.
you all see my screen? I've shared it.
Yeah, still loading on my side, but should...
Well,
yeah, here we go.
yeah.
I can see it.
Okay, great. So this is the Indexer Experience Project Board. We kind of went through it last week, and I think 𝗨𝘀𝗲𝗂 will really kind of speak to some of the work he's been doing, by the way, or doing recently. And so kind of we have different columns that represent different states of work on our project. Things can either have no status or they're in an inbox when they're kind of new. And then depending on if it's a bug or a feature request, we kind of bin them differently and then are able to complete that work accordingly. And the area that's probably most interesting for you all is what's in progress right now, or what's to do. And so 𝗨𝘀𝗂𝗧 is going to kind of jump in, discuss some of the in progress work that he's been working on.
Okay. Hey everyone. Our current work this week has been revolving around releasing the v23 of Indexer components. The main noticeable change we're shipping with this release is that we're introducing a subgraph freshness check to every subgraph call. So to every subgraph query. So the release will include some documentation on how to best use this feature and how to turn it off if you don't want to have the indexer agent complaining about subgraph being too far from the chain head all the time. We strongly suggest that don't turn this off. Try to keep up with fresh data all the time. And besides that, we aim to release in the next few days. Besides that, we are working on the auto grafting feature. Hope has prepared a PR with which will enable indexer agents to start deploying the subgraph dependencies, the graphed basis before deploying the actual subgraph deployment. And you can set a limit to how many levels or how deep you want to the auto grafting feature to go look after subgraphs for you. And besides that, we are also working on optimizing the reconciliation loop. So after the L2 implementations, the multi-network agent started doing some redundant operations when one chain changed and other chains that didn't change. The data that it didn't change will be reprocessed. So we are currently investigating ways to make this the dependencies more efficient. And by dependencies, I mean the data dependencies. We call it the reconciliation loop. So yeah, and we are looking to use different tools based on reactive programming to tackle this. I'm currently trying to use RxJS to build an observable chain that only only processes changes on individual networks, and we are optimistic about this. So, and I would also like to take this moment to ask if anyone has noticed any performance issues with the networked agent, or have any feedback on.
Any thoughts there? And it's a great opportunity if anyone has any issues that they've been struggling with to vocalize them. So yeah, feel free to. Okay, I see Colin's typing.
Just wanted to say thank you to Baka from posting the links. It's just perfect.
Yeah, big shout out to you. Makes it much easier to keep track of things. Okay, seems like we've got some comments in there, Thiago. Feel free to address them and have a look at them.
I'm not sure if this is related necessarily to like index. Like it's related to index experience. It's not related to the index agent or index service. But I've noticed like quite high memory, like RAM consumption on AutoAgora process. It's doing about like 2 to 3 gigabytes per process, like per indexer, and we're running like many on the same machine, so it's like eating like half the RAM available on the machine. For like 8 or 7, something like that, in the agents.
Did you say AutoAgora?
Yeah, the AutoAgora processor, I think. Give me 1 second, I can check.
Okay, because for me it's been running for a month or two, and it's been stable at 100 megs. But yeah, I have to look into it if there's something like this.
I'm loading. I'm checking just right now. Give me 1 second. So the AG processor is doing 2 gigs per each indexer.
Yeah, okay, that's definitely not okay.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like a lot. I mean, my index nodes are doing 2 to 4 gigs, and I'm running 7.
Yeah, the memory is not supposed to increase at all, actually.
I mean, it's
not
not
supposed to be
increasing.
flat.
It's flat, but it's high.
Yeah. Yeah, even that is weird, right? Because for me it's 100 megabytes-ish.
That's weird.
Yeah, not cool.
Are we talking about the same process? Because like I'm looking at AutoAgora itself, not the processor, but AutoAgora. It is 150 megs.
Oh yeah. But the AutoAgora processor also is. I mean, all the components are supposed to be very low memory usage, so that's very mysterious.
Well, if you need any debugging information or anything, just hit me up.
Sure. Do you have something weird showing up in the logs?
The logs of the processor? Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
I mean, let's sync up async, but yeah, yummy RAM.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
I mean, it ain't gonna be a problem if when I move it to the new machine, because I have like 3 terabytes there. But yeah, for this one that I'm running the whole index operations on, it's definitely a pain. It's running on 128 gigs, out of which like half of them are eaten by the index nodes. So like having the other half eating from like based on that AutoAgora processes is definitely yikes. But yeah, let's dig into this after IOH.
Actually, if you guys are cool with it, maybe after this section on the index experience board, if we have time, I think it'd be useful for all of us if you could, I don't know, maybe debug this here or discuss this here, because I'm sure others could learn as well. Yeah, if you're open to that, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, while we're on the index experience section, then yeah, let's keep going with the questions, thoughts. Let's see. Anyone have any thoughts? Oh yeah, Paco, when you or was it, no, sorry, it's Thiago who dropped. When you dropped, you asked the question, and Ford and Colin responded to you, and I've highlighted that in the chat there. So feel free to respond to those comments there.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it was more like an open-ended question to encourage everyone to post any feedback and start a discussion about any performance issues with the Indexer agent. But I think we already discussed a few. But yeah, thanks, Abel.
Gotcha. Awesome. Sweet. I see a few people typing, so we'll let them finish.
Hey Alexis, I posted a screenshot of the logs of one of the containers. Like, it doesn't look like it's doing much.
Got it. Thanks. Just looking at it.
And the curious part is that all of them are mostly the same, like RAM sized. It's not like it doesn't increase based on like the number of queries processed or anything. They're more or less kind of the same flat.
And how is it like when you just started it?
It starts at 2 gigs. The dot just doesn't move.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. So even the logs are probably not going to help us, because if it starts at 2 gigs directly, then there's something very weird going on. Okay, I'll have to look into this. I don't know how. So you're using the container, right? The official one
Yeah.
from GitHub. Okay.
It should be the official one. I can check after this.
Yeah.
It's something I
I
noticed
just-
literally today, because I had one of my servers crashing out of memory.
Okay.
And I started
Okay.
investigating.
Okie doke. Yeah, I'll have to try locally and look how it behaves. I'm fairly certain I'm using the latest version, of course. So that's weird. Yeah. I even set a limit in Kubernetes, actually. That's very low, like 200 megs or something. So my container wouldn't even start if it was using that much on my side, right?
Yeah, fair enough. I'm checking mine. And so I also got a process. Oh, it's running latest. It should download. Like, assuming you tagged the container properly and it's using column latest, then it should be fine.
Yeah, but then it depends on how you run your container orchestration, because it will not, your tools may not automatically fetch the latest version, right? If you're using Kubernetes or even Docker Compose, unless you type whatever command in Docker Compose, I don't remember, pull maybe, it will not recheck that you got the latest version. And I would still recommend to type the version explicitly.
Okay, I can try that.
So yeah, that way it forces it and you're sure that it will pull, right? That's what I do on Kubernetes. Otherwise it doesn't pull unless I tell it pull every time, which is inefficient, because it will pull, even if it doesn't change, it will pull it again. So, right.
The way I know it works is that on your side, you specifically have to, like when you publish a new tag, basically you can tag it with latest, along with the version tag. So like there's like the latest tag that like it's basically something that you need to like continue to bump on your side. But I might be wrong. Like you can have a version released that is not the latest, and the Docker you can have it tagged as latest, but it's not the latest. But like once you tag the very latest one, Docker Compose, it's smart enough, or at least in my experience, is smart enough to pull the new version out. But yeah, notes taken. I'll set the particular version like hard coded in.
I think there's something broken on GitHub, because the latest tagged version is weird. It's tagged with V and no numbers, so I don't remember seeing that before. That's very weird.
It's been there for a while.
Yeah, I didn't notice somehow, because I didn't make new versions for a long time. So yeah, sorry for that. That's a bit of a problem.
I'll update everything and I'll let you know after IOH. And we'll
Actually, it's
definitely
very
get
weird
back to that.
because I'm sure that at least at some point I had correct versions tagged, and now the only container is V. That's it. So I don't know what GitHub did on me there. Sorry. It erased all my images or something. This is fucked up.
Alrighty, that was. Oh, sorry, are you still speaking, Alexis? I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, I wasn't.
Okay. I've got dodgy internet, and I saw the green box around your avatar, so I assumed you were still talking. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thank you both for going through that in public. I think that was useful. I always like getting into these things in front of the whole call, because I feel like there's shared knowledge there. Awesome. Cool. So we have 20 minutes, which is a bunch of time. So we can do an open-ended style discussion. So if anyone has any general questions, thoughts, either from the topics we covered in today's call thus far, or any other topics in general, feel free to let them be known right now, either in the chat or via. I see Vince is typing. I want to highlight the comments there in the. Okay, let's see. Vince has responded. Oh, that's a question for Payne, so feel free to shoot that, Payne.
I'm not using the main Docker. Like the repo. It's I have to update it. I'm not using the mainnet repo. I'm using the semiotic auto Agora processor v whatever. That one, like not the Kai ones. Those ones were like they're very old. I need to update them. But again, I'm not using the I don't even know if the mainnet Docker repo is working properly, because there's no way for me to test it, because I don't have an indexer running that, unfortunately.
Amazing. That's what these calls are about. I just saw the comment there from Alexis that he's going to get on a fix ASAP. That's great to see. This is what it's about. Feedback from the community influencing development, which is great. And hopefully that's going to be even more the case with these project board breakdowns. If people are finding them useful, we'll do more of them. We're doing them for the indexer experience project board, but soon we'll be doing the graph node project board, and hopefully others to come as well. Creating this tight feedback loop between all of you who use the community software and the people who build it is a big mission and reason why we do IOH, so it's good to see.
No, it's a long shot, but does anyone have like 100k GRT that they don't do anything with them, so I can stake them on their behalf, so I can try to maintain the mainnet Docker thing? Like, I'm not even kidding, because otherwise there's no way for me to test those updates. And you get some free GRT on top of yours if it's staying in the wallet anyway. So it's a win-win situation. I'm paying for transactions. Lol, Josh.
So you need 100k GRT to do what exactly?
I want to run the actual mainnet Docker setup that I'm having at 𝗨𝘀𝗀𝗧𝗂. I'm maintaining because I don't have it. I don't have a way to directly test it in production because I don't run that. I have my own. I don't know. It has like 20 compose files.
Well, there you go. That's an
I might just
opportunity for
ask
anyone.
the foundation or whatever, or I can just save up some month or two GRTs from rewards and spin up a new indexer. That's actually faster and less of a headache. But I need to find a way to like run it in production because like for me it's not enough to run the testnet one because I can make mistakes. Like I run the testnet one and then I copy the testnet stuff onto mainnet, and I always somehow end up with DMs like, "Hey, your mainnet stack doesn't work." Well, yeah, I mean, of course. Because I forgot to when I copied over from testnet to mainnet, I forgot to rename 𝗨𝗀𝗂𝗧𝗂 into Arbitrum or whatever in one place, and then nothing works.
Yeah,
And it's taking me a lot of time to debug and help people, which is so annoying. And if I can maintain that directly, but yeah, I'll just actually, I think I have enough to stake it on my own.
Nice. Vince is also saying the fork that I did sure works if you want to compare. So it might be worth syncing up with him as well.
Oh yeah, thank you. Well, I would prefer to like look at whatever I did live in like a working production environment because like it's easier for me to dig around. But yeah, thank you. Like if I get stuck, I'll definitely take a look. I mean, the testnet one definitely works. So it has to be, again, it's the same thing I was talking about. Like there's like little fuck ups that happen between copying over things, and I hate this because like it's eating way too much of my time.
That makes sense. Yeah. It's good that you're dog fooding. That's important. To be able to help other people. Cool. Nice. Best of luck with that. Cool. We're coming into the final 10 minutes. So again, open questions, thoughts. We got one from Vincent. Have people
I'm
upgraded
running the latest, very latest Polygon version. What was it? 250 point. What was that released yesterday, Vincent? I'm checking right now. I'm running 251.0. I'm not sure if I did anything wrong. But like it's running fine. The only difference that I've seen with the latest versions, like with 251 on both Ethereum mainnet and Polygon, is that Ethereum mainnet logs are so much different than Ethereum than Polygon logs. Like Polygon logs are still doing like 1/14, 7 out of 14, whatever, and Ethereum mainnet just dumps updated chain head. It's weird. I'm not sure if you guys are seeing the same. But yeah, like Vincent said, you have like 2.5 days left to upgrade. And make sure that whenever you upgrade, if you're running your own Heimdall instance, you need to add the new chain equals mainnet in the configuration. Otherwise, you will fuck up your database. Well, your Heimdall database, but it still takes a while to resync. Just to keep that in mind. Just YOLO, dude. This is how we roll. It's not called production for nothing. Just make it produce something. If it's bugs, then yeah, so be it. Yeah.
That should be on a t-shirt somewhere.
I'll tell Martin.
That's jokes.
I'm running RAID 0, like 5-disk RAID 0 on my mainnet database. I mean, I do have a backup of that, but still. And it's like 30 terabytes. It takes me 3 days just to copy it home. And it's still 100% IO waiting. Like, yeah, that's super shit.
Seems like Matthew's commented which Aragon version they're running for Polygon, and I'm getting the impression that it's just generally not stable. Vince has asked, is anyone on 2.50.2? I'm guessing since it came out, you know, today, only a couple of hours ago, I'm not sure if anyone's on that yet, but it'd be interesting to see if anyone is.
So judging by the block ingestion rate on Polygon on my side, I had trouble this morning for about like 3 hours, 4 hours ish, where it just behaved a little bit weird, but other than that, it looks fine. Let me send you a screenshot. Let me zoom out a little bit more actually, so you get more data. I actually don't know when I updated. It looks like this for me. Vincent, if you do want to upgrade, just do it for the latest version. Be a hero for us all. Take the bullet. Do it.
Fully degen. Encouraging other degenerate behavior. I love it. Oh, awesome. Thanks for sharing, Matthew.
Hey, question relating to Aragon in general. How does it behave when on virtualized disks? Does anyone have like really bad experience with it? Because I remember someone in LFG was complaining that it wasn't behaving quite nice on virtualized disks, but yeah. You're running on ZFS, but is that ZFS machine, well, is the machine you're running on actual bare metal and is not virtualized in any way? Like, are you running, I don't know, Debian? Okay, local NVMe disks, but is that over like through Proxmox? Okay, interesting. Okay, fine. Okay, nice. And Matthew, have you tried ZFS RAID 0 versus ext4 RAID 0? Do you know if there's anything to expect with ZFS? Is it slower than ext4, and if so, by how much? So only 10% slower, but is that on RAID 0 or like weird RAID Z10 or whatever? Because I'm particularly interested in RAID 0 performance. Oh, on single disk, even better. Okay, nice. Because actually, yeah, single disk is actually RAID 0 in like ZFS mind. I was thinking about that actually. I have enough to run Aragon, and actually, I know I have enough RAM to run Polygon on a RAM disk. I'm not joking. Like that could actually be super fun to test, or at least like I don't know, Ethereum mainnet.
Alrighty, we're coming into the last minute of the call, but I see Packer typing, so I'll open up there for that. Oh, amazing. Thanks so much for the update, Packer. Please do keep us posted on that. All right. Are there any final questions, thoughts, ideas that folks want to share in today's call? I'll leave it open. Okay, I see Vince typing. I no longer see Vince. Oh, there he is. He's back again. Cool. I'll let Vince finish typing, but I'll take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who's joined for today's Indexer office hours.